quadratic function is any function that has a leading degree to the second power. So the parent function would look like this. F of x equals x squared. The standard form of a quadratic function is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c can be any number, but a cannot equal 0, because if a would equal 0, this would cancel out and it would just be a linear equation. To solve a quadratic, you need to set the equation equal to 0 and solve for x. This will give you the roots or zeros of the equation. In other words, this tells you where the x-intercepts are. To solve a quadratic, you can use three methods: factoring, the quadratic formula, or by completing the square. Let's use this example. F of x equals 2x squared minus 6x plus 4. First, you set the equation equal to 0. To factor this, you can use the AC method, where you take the a term, which is 2, and the c term, which is 4, and you multiply them together to get 8. Then you take multiples of 8, which is like 2 times 4, or 8 times 1, or negative 2 times negative 4, and you see which ones add up to the b term, which is negative 6. And in this case, negative 2 plus negative 4 equals negative 6. So this is the term in the middle. So it would be negative 2x squared minus 2x minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. And you can factor out the 2 on this side, the 2x actually. You get x minus 1, then you take negative 4 from this side, and you get x minus 1. You combine the 2x minus 4 and the x minus 1 equals 0. And due to the zero product rule, you can just set both of these equal to 0. And this will be 2x equals 4, x equals 2, and then x equals 1. So these are your answers. X equals 1 and 2. Another way to find the roots of this equation is to use the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And you can see how the a and the b and the c's all correlate together, so you just have to substitute each value. So this will be 6 plus or minus negative 6 squared minus 4, 2, and 4 over 2 times 2. So this will be 6 plus or minus. 6 squared is 36 minus 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 4 is 32 over 4. And then 6 plus or minus 36 minus 32 is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. So I'm just going to get rid of that, and it's going to be a 2 here and a 4. Then you can split this into two equations. And x equals 6 minus 2 over 4. First you solve this one. X equals 8 over 4, and the answer is x equals 2. Then you solve this one, x equals 4 over 4, and x equals 1. And as you can see, you still get the same answers as you would get when factoring. Another way to solve this equation is by completing the square. To complete the square, you move the c term to the other side, and then you isolate this coefficient so that it's equal to 1. To do so, you can do 2x squared minus 6x, you move the 4 to the other side, which would be negative 4. Then you divide everything by 2, so the coefficient of this is equal to 1. X squared minus 3x equals negative 2. Then you use this formula, b squared, or b over 2 squared. You add this to both sides. In this case, the b term is negative 3. So you do x squared minus 3x minus, or actually do plus minus 3 over 2 squared equals negative 2 plus negative 3 over 2 squared. Then this here is called a perfect square trinomial. So you can just factor it like this, squared, equals, and negative 2 plus negative 3 over 2 squared is 1/4. So then you square root both sides, and you would get equals plus or minus 1 over 4, and this is just plus or minus 1 over 2. Then you can split this equation into two parts. Equals 1/2, and then x minus 3 over 2 equals negative 1/2. You solve this for x and you'll get 2, you solve this and you get 1. And as you can see, you still get the same answers that you would get if you factored or by using the quadratic formula. Now that we know what the roots are for this equation, we can graphically represent this. This is the y-axis. This is the x-axis, with the y value being here, and x-axis being here. We put a 1 and a 2. This quadratic is going to intersect through these points. Since this is a positive quadratic, there's going to be a minimum point that's going to open up. So it's going to look something like this. Another important thing to know about quadratics is the axis of symmetry, which is the line that goes directly down the middle and hits the vertex at this point. To find the axis of symmetry, use the equation x equals negative b over 2a. In this case, the b is negative 6 and the a is 2. So you can do x equals negative 6 over 2 times 2. This will be 6 over 4, which is equal to 3 over 2. This is where it would hit at 3 over 2. To find the point of vertex, which is this point right here, you simply plug the 3 over 2 back into this equation. So it would be 2 times 3 over 2 squared minus 6, 3 over 2 plus 4. And to solve this, you do 2 times 9 over 4 minus 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9 plus 4. 2 times 9 is 18 over 4 minus 9 plus 4. 18 over 4 minus 9 plus 4. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. And then 18 over 4 minus 5 equals negative 1/2. This is the y value. So that means that this vertex has coordinates 3 over 2, negative 1/2. To check our solution, we can plot this graph on Desmos, and then we can see where the graph intersects. It intersects at 1 and 2, which checks out, and then it also hits a minimum point at 1.5, negative 0.5. This means that our solutions were correct. Another important formula to remember is the discriminant formula, which is b squared minus 4ac. This tells you the number of solutions, or real solutions, that a quadratic will have. If you plug this in, and then you get a positive answer, that means that there are 2 real solutions. If you get 0, this means that there is 1 real solution. And if you get a negative number, it means that there are no real solutions. Take these two examples. X squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0. If you want to find a number of solutions that this will have, you can use the discriminant formula, b squared minus 4ac. B in this case would be 5 squared, then it would be times 1 times 4. 5 squared is 25, 4 times 1 times 4 is 16. This equals 9. This means that there are 2 real solutions. For this one, you can also use the discriminant. In this case, b would be negative 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times 12. Negative 7 squared is 49, minus 4 times 2, which is 8 times 12. 49 minus 8 times 12. 8 times 12 is 96. This you already know is going to produce a negative answer, so there would be no real solutions.